Very pleased to be here. We're sort of the panel before the mid-afternoon break, so I'll try to be as animated as possible. So first, a big thanks to Craig and Maureen and the OIS group for creating this forum for us to gather today. Where would we have been without OIS over the past 13 years? Really, it's been phenomenal, so kudos to Craig and company. I'm honored to have been asked to participate in this year's program. I'm very excited about the panel discussion that we'll have around corporate strategic. So Jonathan's last question was a perfect segue to what we'll be talking about. As we are all aware, innovation is just not just an asset, but the very lifeblood of our industry. And first and foremost, as a community, it enables us to offer a better quality of care to patients. And secondarily, it fosters the growth of the ophthalmic products industry by enabling breakthrough diagnostics and therapeutic solutions. And in an era when external innovation eclipses internal R&D in terms of creativity, cost efficiency, speed to market, the tightening of the private and public markets, as Jonathan very carefully laid out, I think is a serious concern. Strategic corporate venture, in my view, could be a wonderful counterbalance to this trend. And I think, as Dr. Rothman pointed out, I think strategics could play an integral role in that process. I'm honored to facilitate this distinguished panel today that's sort of a mix of both pharma as well as devices. On the pharma side, we have one of the most iconic brands in our industry, AbbVie Allergan, as well as Santen, a global leader in ophthalmic pharma assets as well as devices. But also on the device side, we have Topcon, which has been a global leader in innovative diagnostic solutions, as well as a company that is iconic in its own right, that defined a category, single-handedly created a category called medical robotics, and is still a leader, a global leader in that space. So very pleased to have Muriel from Intuitive Surgical there as well. So let's start with a round of introductions. My name is Babak Nemati. I lead a corporate venture and business development advisory firm called Strategic Intelligence. My team currently leads the externally facing activities of the Alcon Seed Fund, which was launched last September and is currently the most active seed investor in ophthalmology. If you have questions about ASF, please see me afterwards. For that matter, if you have questions, not about ASF, but about what to do in San Diego, I'm a local, so come see me and we'll talk. But our focus on this panel is going to be on the panelists and their respective companies. So I'll start by asking that for each of them to give a 2-minute introduction on themselves as well as the companies they represent. So maybe we start with Doug at the end.
Hi, thanks, Babak. A pleasure to be here and see a lot of familiar faces today. Doug Fonts, I'm an immunologist by training, but I've been working in the eye care space since the mid-90s. I'm currently the head of search and evaluation for eye care at AbbVie Allergan. I actually wear 2 hats in that organization. One is leading all of the external partnering for the BD side, but the other half of my life is with the AbbVie Ventures Group, leading early investment opportunities across all of our therapeutic areas for all regions.
We're very happy to be here. One of the, I don't know many people here. We just started our fund about 3 years ago, and at Intuitive, I'm one of the investment professionals there. We have a small fund of $100 million that is investing across the area of minimal invasive care. And myself, I'm a recovering entrepreneur. So I actually started my career in pharma, biotech, and then became an executive at a large supply chain manufacturer called McKesson before running a molecular diagnostic company. We're very interested in the ophthalmologic space at Intuitive Ventures and seeing how we can apply some of the learnings of the robotics surgical space and automation in the area of ophthalmology.
Great, thank you. Jonathan?
Hi, so I'm Jonathan Liu. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development at Topcon. My background is OCT scientist, so we come from the device side of the world. And I've served as product management in anterior segment, vision care, and surgical devices as well. We have just recently, probably the youngest fund among this team here, started our corporate venture capital investments. We started deploying funds this April. Our investment thesis is to drive digital health and to harmonize healthcare. And our long-term corporate strategy is healthcare from the eye. Very excited to be here. Interested to hear what all you have here at OS.
Great, Josh.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting to this, exciting panel discussion. And my name is Josh Chiwata from Santen Ventures, which is a corporate VC arm of the Santen Pharmaceutical. And the Santen is a Japanese pharmaceutical company specialized in ophthalmology. And like the parent company, Santen Ventures is also specialized in ophthalmology. I mean, we invest only in ophthalmology. And we are purely strategic. So we typically invest in companies with technologies or assets, which may be a potential future partnership opportunities for Santen. So our core focus is for Rx Pharmaceuticals, but we also invest in the other type of technologies like devices, digitals, and others. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. So the first question I'd like to pose to the panel is if you could share specifically your long-term vision and goals to drive the company's interest in investing in early-stage innovation. So kind of piggybacking on Dr. Rothman's question, and maybe Doug, we'll start with you because I know that AbbVie has a very concerted effort about coming in early and investing early.
Yeah, we do. So AbbVie Ventures has a current active portfolio of nearly 36 portfolio companies across all of our therapeutic areas that span across all. And if you look at those companies and you look at the stage at which we typically come in, it's generally at that seed stage. We've participated in a number of early company creations, so seed, early Series A. That's really the sweet spot of where we like to come in, keep our diluted ownership relatively low. We want to see those companies succeed. We don't want to get in the way of the science, but we want to be able to be there, support the science, provide resources, provide expertise where we can. Occasionally, we will participate also in Series B. Oftentimes, we participate in A round, extensions, bridge rounds, but early is where we like to be, and we do say come early and come often because we see that as the area which we can bring expertise to the company that really helps them get off the ground.
Great. Maria?
Well, I'll echo what Doug just said. So we have 10 portfolio companies, and I would say about half are seed A and B, the other half being later stage. So we tend to like to go early as well. That's where we think we can help across, frankly, everything from regulatory to reimbursement strategy, product dev from our standpoint. And but I think where we're different is we continue to follow those companies and have enough reserves to see them all the way to D if necessary.
I think my answer, since we are a younger fund, is going to be a bit more, I guess, on the strategy side. Our investment thesis is to drive digital health to harmonize eye care, and what we base that on is two things. One is Topcon's unique position on real-world data, and especially big data. That's based on our footprint in the devices market, the best-selling OCT, Maestro OCT, and the fully automated fundus camera, NW400. And to supplement that, we do have a Harmony open data platform where both Topcon and non-Topcon devices are connected to, and Topcon and non-Topcon applications are connected to. And therefore, our customer base currently lies in ophthalmology, but also optometry and primary care. And the second reason we do that is because of the the evolution from a devices business to a solutions business. So we are looking for partners in AI clinical decision support, business insights generation, and enhancing clinical trials, and also low-cost devices. Our long-term strategy, sorry, getting back to the question, is healthcare from the eye. And to enable that, that's really our vision is not only just shared care and eye care, but also shared healthcare. And what that means is that it's new pathways to access patients and send them to specialty care, and from the provider's point of view, new pathways to get the patients and providers involved. So that means that our goal is to extend from not only primary care and to optical shops, retail pharmacy, home, wellness, and nutrition. So in terms of the specialty care side, it's not only ophthalmology, but also diabetes, neurology, cardiovascular, liver disease, kidney disease, et cetera. So all these things that we're talking about, especially in digital health, tend to be young and early stage companies because it is a bit ambitious goal that we have.
Perfect, thank you. And Josh, in terms of Santen's long-standing investment.
Yeah. So the reason why Santen Ventures invest in ophthalmology is very simple. It is the only business domain for Santen, obviously. And talking about the stage of the company, so as I know, total Santen, Santen Pharmaceutical itself, we cover the all the possibility, all the stage of the companies by having a couple of different organizations. Our R&D groups has many types of research collaboration with the earlier stage companies and the academic institutions, and of course, we have a business development group who is responsible for licensing or acquisition type of partnership with late stage companies. And we launched our corporate VC in 2017. The reason why we established corporate VC is we like to strengthen our access to the external innovations, and we like to fill the gap between such research collaborations and the later stage licensing. So that is why we established the corporate VC, and I think it has been nicely working for us. We can enhance our access to the external innovations and talents. And for example, another background is Santen, for example, Santen has a good amount of experiences for eye drops, for example, but we don't have nothing for gene and cell therapies. So we have to fill the gap to be a significant player in ophthalmology. That is why, that's the kind of role and driver for the corporate VC for Santen.
Great. Thank you very much. I want to segue also to another topic, which is, I think a unique contribution that a strategic can make is not just in capital. In fact, I think the bulk of the capital that goes into companies and early stage startups comes from the private side and the VCs, like the panel we just had. But uniquely, what corporate venture can offer are these value-add resources or expertise or in-kind contributions. Can our panelists please kind of expand on that? If Doug, again, we'll start from you in terms of AbbVie's sort of value-add and in-kind type of support above and beyond capital, what that could look like for startups that are in your portfolio.
Yeah, thanks. So, look, we like to think that we bring a lot more to the prospective partner, or in this case, whatever company we're investing in, than just the funds itself, right? We have a company that's built on a 70-plus year legacy of development and evolution of eye care products. And so that comes with a lot of internal expertise and networks and things that, quite frankly, we make available to the extent that we can to the companies that we're investing in. So there's that institutional knowledge and that hands-on expertise and networks with CROs, academics, technology platform companies, and the like that we like to think we're very generous with. In addition to that, we provide resources through various innovation support modalities. We have a number of golden tickets that we provide regionally that provide space support, core support, and then we have other regional innovation awards as well that we do across the West Coast, the Midwest, the East Coast, Europe, and Asia. So a number of really vehicles, Babak, I think, to help those early stage companies that we invest in really get off the ground.
Great. Maria?
So I will say that we actually provide a fair amount of capital on our side, and we consider ourselves both financially motivated as well as a strategic. So we actually look at returns very closely in the companies that we invest. That being said, the value is indeed access to the ecosystem that we bring to the table. So that's knowledge of the customer, it's knowledge of the regulatory pathways, it's knowledge of reimbursement, in addition to being an expert at AI, at visualization, navigation, product integration on the hardware and software side. If I look at our current portfolio, about half of our companies have also a strategic relationship internally within Intuitive of some shape and form. So this is not something that's a requirement for us, but that's certainly something that we are helping our company as much as we can, when we can.
Yeah, thank you. And what I kind of always I'm fascinated by is that, you know, in many cases, corporate venture is sort of a bridge to doing a transaction of sorts, business development. But in your case, I think you're mostly doing this to foster growth in the ecosystem and proliferation of minimally invasive technologies, right?
That is absolutely correct. We view ourselves as a leader in our field, and as such wants to help reimagine the, frankly, the ecosystem of minimal invasive care. And though, for instance, we do not have any position in ophthalmology, we think there's a lot going on right now where we can be helpful in fostering that ecosystem, which is why we're actively evaluating it. But to your point, we're not looking at a space necessarily to be an acqui-hire.
Right. And Topcon?
So for us, it's really something very tangible in terms of Harmony as an open data management platform. So because it's an open platform for devices and software, there's really no exclusivity requirement from our side, and it has a seamless clinical workflow integration, and therefore it's easy access to real-world clinical data. And with that comes access to our customers today in ophthalmology, optometry, and primary care. Along with our venture capital fund, we also have an incubator accelerator that functions alongside it. And what that provides is clinical science, regulatory, medical affairs, clinical affairs, sales and marketing support, and also office space. Specifically, one of our portfolio companies, Toku, is a cardiovascular risk AI company that has it's basically software as a medical device. So with our expertise, we're able to support their product development, facilitate commercial pilots through Harmony, generate scientific evidence for publications, and they actually achieved FDA breakthrough status within 6 months of our deployment of capital.
Right. And Josh, in terms of Santen, being a global organization, your footprint is pretty broad. How do you provide in-kind support?
Yeah, so we are particularly strong in Asia and Japan. So we are happy to share our knowledge and experiences with our portfolio companies for the Japanese regulations or market environment. So for example, there is a case that we supported one of our portfolio companies to study about Japanese regulatory environment for a specific target disease, and help them arrange regulatory consultations with PMDA, the Japanese authority, for example. So yeah, another example is that we have a fully integrated capability as a pharmaceutical company, in ophthalmology. So yeah, for example, the start company, even if they know the science of the start company is, great, they sometimes, they need, capability for CMC, for example. So in that case, we are happy to provide, our capability to formulate, products, for example. So yeah, those are the kind of, typical contributions which we can make, and our portfolio company expect.
Great, thank you. And I have other questions, but I want to make this a bit more interactive. So any questions from the audience to this panel? Jack, please.
I'm Jack Mormon from Nichibei Advisors. As Babak knows, I've been interested for a number of years in preemptive healthcare, predictive healthcare, precision healthcare, these kinds of things. This hasn't made a lot of sense in the US, but in Japan, where it's a universal healthcare system. There was a recent article that said we now have 10 states in the US which have very close to universal healthcare, Massachusetts being only 2.5% of the population not covered by it. So where do we fit on identifying, diagnosing, and treating undiagnosed or asymptomatic disease from your standpoint as promoting those kinds of companies and innovations that would accomplish that? Thank you.
Who would like to take that on?
I'm happy to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's actually a perfect match to what we're trying to do at TopCon. And very interestingly, we're not starting in Japan. We're starting here, right here in the US, for the reasons that you just mentioned. So what we believe is really digital health to harmonize healthcare and healthcare from the eye. We know that in ophthalmology, there's shortage of ophthalmologists. There's an abundance of undetected disease. We think it's the same across the board for the US healthcare system. So what we are looking for is really AI-enabled devices and software technology that will increase access, that will improve efficiency, precision management, to your point, and more importantly, monitor the outcomes, make sure that it's worthwhile for the entire systems. So at TopCon, we strongly believe in that is the future, and that's going to happen soon.
Any other questions? Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. So maybe we'll end with this question. Looking ahead, what is your long-term view of where things are going, the most exciting things that are going to happen in ophthalmology, and how does your investment thesis today play into that overall vision? Doug, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, thanks. Our investment vision very much is in line with our overall strategic pursuits in eye care as a legacy company, focused, of course, in retina, glaucoma, and corneal health. But that said, where we like to invest, we have in the past made investments in single asset, single indication type opportunities. But where we're really looking for now and toward the future are investments in technology platforms and approaches that fundamentally change the way we do science today, the way we run our clinical trials, the way we gather and interpret clinical and basic science information. It's those type of technology platforms that enable us to do all of the other disease area specific things much, much better. That's our goal.
Great. Maria?
So for us, it goes beyond ophthalmology, but I think ophthalmology fits really, really well into our investment thesis. So we're looking at it from a market access, so broadening market access, where are the point where we see companies that are doing that and aligning incentive throughout the healthcare system in order to be successful, to the point you were making earlier. So market access is one of our theses in there, and looking at companies that are enabling those access points. And then precision diagnostic and intervention. So again, from an ophthalmology standpoint, what does it mean? We're looking at AI-enabled technology to look at diagnosis, we're looking at ways to treat more patients faster, better, from a clinical experience standpoint. And then the last piece is in terms of big data enablement from a tool. So what does it mean? Well, supply chain, complex imaging sharing, cybersecurity, those are themes that are really important and maybe not ophthalmology specific, but very relevant to industry. So those would be where we continue to look at actively at investing, and ophthalmology being an area where we think that's prime for transformation there.
Great. Jonathan?
Yeah, back to our thesis, digital health to harmonize healthcare and healthcare from the eye. Really, the shortage of ophthalmologists and the underdetection of diseases, and we believe in not only connecting optometry, ophthalmology, and primary care, but also beyond that. So, and from the specialist care side, it's not only eye care, it's other diseases as well, and therefore that will increase patient access for ophthalmologists, and also from the other side, help the patients who actually desperately need health care, provide more access points for them. And in the middle, there's kind of a hidden message for ophthalmologists. We believe that ophthalmologists' time is best spent on treatment and specialty care, and we really want to enable that. We think that's a win-win-win for all the specialty cares out there.
It's actually encouraging to hear a clear, crisp digital health strategy, because I've been involved with that field for over 15 years, and it's seldom that you hear a very clear and crisp digital health strategy, so that's great. Santen?
Yeah, so again, for us, ophthalmology is the only business domain, and the Santen's, corporate, long-term corporate vision very clearly states that we will continue to focus on ophthalmology. And the missions of Santen Ventures is to explore new future growth drivers in ophthalmology. So we will continue to invest in this field, including startup companies. And in terms of the technology or diseases, we are kind of opportunistic and agnostic. So we know that there are number of patients who are suffering from the eye conditions are increasing even now. So we see, we believe there are a significant amount of growth opportunity there among the many types of diseases. So yeah, we are really open to discuss any type of opportunities with the startup companies.
Thank you. I think we're almost out of time. Any last-minute questions from anyone? Yes, please, Ali.
Hi there, Ali Ordekani, Optigo Biotherapeutics. Generally, my experience is that corporate venture funds don't lead rounds. Do any of you lead rounds, or you all lead rounds? Okay. Well, that's
This
good.
is the exceptional group. The rest don't.
I will say that our position is generally either to co-lead or participate as part of that first early syndicate. That has been our history.
All right. The rest of you, do you co-lead or sole lead?
We've done lead, co-lead, and follow to be part of the syndicate.
So far, our investments have all been led by our TopCon.
So yeah, we usually don't take a lead, but it is not because we are strategic, but it's simply because of the capacity of our fund. We are a small fund. We only managing 100 million. So yeah, sometimes take a co-lead in the small round. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Alcon Seed Fund, we don't lead. We follow. Great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time for this discussion. Thank you to the panelists. It was a wonderful conversation. Appreciate your time. Thank you.